Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today on Car Rides with Schla, now I have like so much stuff to get to. I was just thinking it's a shame that the opportunity for me to do walks with Schla happened when it did during a relatively low octane time period, because now like I got stuff to say. You know what I mean? I definitely got things to say. And now it's like now I don't have the walk switch law anymore. So that's kind of annoying, but what can you really do about it? I don't know. At least this morning we're up relatively early and things are pretty good. Things are pretty good, pretty chill, pretty nice. And it's all you can really ask for, right? So my timing was good today, for sure. Um, so that's good. Very good, might add. And yeah, I know it's awfully quiet for you, just hyping yourself up on having so much to talk about. It's just I didn't even finish everything I said yesterday, and I'd really wanted to finish everything I said yesterday, but I forgot to take. I usually have my beef split up. Half of it's in the freezer, half of it's in the freezer. Half of it's in the freezer, and half of it is in the fridge. And I usually swap the one in the freezer to the fridge to defrost. But in this case, I didn't do that. I had forgotten. So that basically added about 20 minutes later to my evening. So, yeah, it was not fun. It was really freaking me out trying to get to the bottom of it. I mean, I ended up putting it in the microwave for a little bit at a time until I could eventually dig at it, but it still wasn't really a good situation. So, I don't I don't really know what else to say about that really. Um, yeah, it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. I'm a little bit worried because I feel like putting in. I mean, I didn't really microwave it that much. Like, it didn't really feel that warm, but I worry about that because I know, like I heard before, if you have the whole thing where it's like, um, if you have the mic in a way where, like, if you heat something and then like fridge it again, usually accelerates bacterial growth. So I'm a little nervous about that, but it is only going to be Wednesday night until Saturday morning. So I still feel like since it's in the fridge, it should probably hold up. I'm hoping it'll hold up. And again, I didn't it's not like I really heated it to when it's hot. I mean, it was still solid. So hopefully everything's fine. But I don't really know. I don't really know. So we'll just have to see about that. As for the things I actually wanted to get to, it's just yesterday I had so many other topics, and I'm trying to approach things with such gentle gloves. It's difficult to it's difficult to do, and it's I think it's hard because when you're observant and you observe things, it's like people just see it as judgment. And it's like it's too much for people because if I notice like all these things, that nobody else has noticed in their life before. Nobody's ever told them. They haven't told themselves. Then obviously it's crazy. It's crazy. And I could really, I mean, there's people I could just really go in on and just layer in like all these judgments. But again, I'm not really trying to be like a judgmental person. That's not really my intention. My intention is really just that, well, first of all, there's not really an intention, you know? I mean, I'm just an observant person. I notice things, for better or worse, I do. I notice things and I talk about the things I notice. I like to talk. I like to say things. And for a while, I was just confused because, in my case, if somebody maybe like judged me about something, I'm happy to learn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, I don't really have a problem with it, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, there probably could be certain things that I would be a little bit sensitive to, but well, and of course, it also depends on the judgment. But see, that gets really subjective. Because, like, in my case, I would say, I only care about things that, like, truly matter. But then, like, to some people, some things truly matter and others don't. I mean, it's like this whole. Because that's so opinionated. I mean, there is an objective. There is absolutely this underlying objective to, like, what is or isn't objectively worth being judged. That's definitely like a really real thing. But I'm saying to the subjective, like, that could be so many different things. I mean, people, they really care more about the surface level stuff, like how they wear, what they wear, how they look, those kind of things. And that's really what people judge. But see, I don't even judge that stuff too much. Like, I'm mostly focused on the deeper things, and I think that's why another reason why it catches people off guard. I've already talked about this before, so but I just, for some reason, I felt like the need to preface it for this conversation. And so I just think the observations I have, they're jarring for people. It's almost like if I did judge a person for how they looked, like they wouldn't think I'm judgmental because that's kind of more of like a typical judgment. But somebody really comes across as judgmental when it's like there's more complexity to the judgment, right? And it's just like, I don't really know what to do. I just observe things. And I've already established, but I do think that's the phenomena that's going on. That it's not really that I'm necessarily more judgmental than another person. I think it's more so that I'm more observant. And then it's also the things that I'm judging are things that, oftentimes it's like something nobody's ever even heard before. They don't even know what I'm talking about. And so it's much more menacing or serious than, like if I just tell someone that their outfit looks stupid, I mean, that doesn't really matter. To me, it's more judgmental to me because you're judging something that doesn't matter. It would be like if I judged someone for their favorite color being red. To me, that's like an extra judgment because it's like something that you don't really need to say. But I think how other people interpret it is if I judge that their outfit's ugly, then I mean they can just put on a different outfit, you know. So to other people, that I might not even be told that I'm being judgmental in that case. But when it comes to like a lifestyle choice about being judgmental, and it's not excessively warm and friendly, if it's just a normal conversation, somebody says they do something, and I'm like, that doesn't make it. Like, you can't, that's horrible. Like, and this is why, and an explained, defined. That's when people get upset because, they don't necessarily even want to change, and in some cases they can't due to, again, poor executive function, poor self-control, depending on their current living situation. I mean, not a lot of people really have that much control over their lives. So much is based on prerequisites at this point in society. It's like, well, do you have a college degree? Do you live with your parents? Do you have a place to live? Or do you have to, like, go into the rent type of stress and have to pay rent and have to pay that, do you have people giving you these prerequisite foundational advantages, or are you just like struggling like everybody else, like completely incapable of um, getting anywhere? Like, I don't know, that's really what life is at this point. And so, yeah, I mean, it's all stuff to think about. It's all stuff to think about. I'm trying to think. Where was I going with this? I'm just trying to think. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's what the problem is. But it's like in my head, to me, I wouldn't want to judge someone off of their outfit or their smell or the way they say. Like, I don't. Because to me, that's what judgmental is, because those are things that don't matter. So, like, there's no validity in judging them. There's zero. Because it's like, again, like, imagine criticizing someone for their favorite color being orange. It's like, how is that not ridiculously judgmental? Whereas, like, if someone correctly and accurately corrects and shows how a person's diet is terrible, for example, I don't really see how judgmental that is. I mean, that's just like true. That's not, you know, I don't understand how that's judgmental. Like, I guess to me, the way I always sort of subconsciously, and I think closer to objectively thought about it, is that I always assumed that judgment was more of this more of this subjective thing. Like, if somebody judges somebody, it's like, I thought of it as sorry, I'm trying to think. Subject, like, I thought of it as, like, they're subjectively judging, which would imply and conclude that judgment is when you judge someone for, like, an opinion. But, like, for me, I don't really see it as judgment if somebody is just, like, correcting someone and they're correct. Like, what if somebody's right? I mean, there's people that have told me things before, like, they can't stand water, and like, they only drink juice, which is like, it's almost like the thing like a child does, basically, like, because I remember I was actually like that when I was a child. Like, white grape was my favorite juice, and I wouldn't want water. So I know my brother, when he was a baby, it was like a similar story for him. It was apple juice. Like, he didn't he just didn't want, really wasn't interested in um water. Like, it was, and like, you try to tell the kid, like, explain to them how water is really important, but no, like, the kid really just, like, rejects it. But obviously, once I grew up, pretty soon I just started drinking water. And then it's interesting how drastically things have changed, right? Where it's like, now I don't even drink anything but water. Like for me, juice is like crazy. You know, like isn't that funny? Like how much that changes. Like it's wow. I just can't get over that. Like I actually, well, no, I mean I can get over it, but it's just interesting because as of now, out of anybody, I'm like the only person I know really who basically just drinks like exclusively water, if that makes any sense. I mean, I know a lot of people, and everybody has like something that they like different drinks. I mean, like this is just everybody is like that. I mean, I don't know. I really do. Like you meet so many people where their drinks that they drink, it's like a part of their life, basically. It's like an essential, like if you tried to take it away from them, they would like start freaking out, you know, if they didn't have access to it anymore. It's just hard for me to believe because I just like, I don't even know why I would want anything other than water. Like to me, it's just like, I can't even fathom it, you know? Maybe as a treat, iced water, but you know, in general, it's like, it's just water. Um, I used to like lemonade, simple stuff like that. I'd probably still like white grape, but I haven't had these things in a long time. Like this is not, I mean, I can't even remember the last time I had lemonade. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a few reasons for that, but mainly being that it doesn't make any sense. Like to me, the amount of like resources that are wasted on um the amount of resources that are wasted on all that like drink stuff is really significant. You know, the shipping and handling of shipping all the bottles around and things. I mean, it's actually like a ton of wear on the system for stuff that has essentially no nutrients and no necessitative value. It's pretty crazy to think about, honestly. I know a lot of people don't, but man, is that like a wear on the system, shipping all those fluids around. And I've explained that to people, but I guess they don't feel guilty about it. Like they don't care. But see, it's like another thing where it's like, I guess I am judging people, but what I'm saying is true. So I'm not really judging a person. I'm judging like a behavior. Like I'm not I just think it's probably the way I'm thinking, it's so zoomed out, like people don't even know, cuz like people are used to people who are just trying to like insult people. And that's how I think they receive it. I just think they receive what I say as like a bunch of insults, you know? And then cuz that's what they're used to, but I don't even do that. Like I'm not even that kind of a person. Like I'm never just like acting like that. So that's kind of the difference, you know? So, I mean, where does this all take us, you know? It's basically, yeah, it's the judgment thing and how just saying things in conversation, they inherently come off as judgmental to others. And I guess in a way it is, but in a way it's just like I'm just talking about true stuff. So it's more of a person saying it as a defense mechanism because, like I was saying yesterday, they don't want to know. Again, a lot of people probably vaguely know that eating sugar is bad. They vaguely know that sleeping is bad. But There's not much going on there. If we could, like I said, a lot of people, they already don't have autonomy over their lives, and yeah, I don't know, like they don't have autonomy. So if they have this problem, um they don't really want to know how bad it is, because that's not that's just not good. Because they can't change it anyway. So I think in a way it's some kind of like ego shielding thing. But feel like I've mentioned before. What am I trying to get at? Oh, well, this is what comes into my thing about autonomy, and how, you know, we I still think that at some point in the future we would have a semi seizure of autonomy, and then like GPT will spaz out, of course, but it just, like, the more I talk about these issues and the more I interact with other people, it actually, like, I almost, because again, and yesterday I was trying to softball it, because, you know, that's just what I was doing. I was saying that I still believe this is a better idea, to seize systems, to seize the autonomy of systems, not directly people and individuals. But what I was saying is, what I'm thinking now is, honestly, it just returns back to the same kind of concept, where it's like a majority of humans, they don't really have that much free will, and they're not really that autonomous anyway. Like, most people, they're a result of their environment. I don't really think that I think there's a lot of evidence for that. Obviously, everybody, there's a mixture of things that play a role. I think your genetics is like the genetics is like the lock, and environment is like the key. So, you can give a great key to a great lock and it'll open really well. Like, if you give the right key to the right lock, there's maximum potential. But like, if a lock's like a really bad lock, even if you try to put like a really good key in, it might not fit, or the lock, it's still kind of like jammed, like it won't open, So the other one I came up with was, maybe DNA and genetics, they're like the canvas, they're the quality of the paper, the quality of the paints that you use, the quality of the paintbrush, but then environment's the actual painting, right? Like, your environment inevitably ends up being the painting. But, obviously, if somebody is born with a better foundation, they have better art supplies, they have a better, larger canvas, there's definitely the potential for a better work of art, a better painting. But it's based on the environment, and some people may be born with a large canvas, but only a portion of the canvas ever gets illustrated. And it looks great, but it's not. Whereas some people with smaller canvases, their life environment and experience is superior, so it ends up giving them a better reality, even if their potential was not there. You see what I mean? So, yeah, that's kind of what I get to when I talk about this. It's like, I feel like genetics are important, but it's really the environment. The environment is what is the make or break, you know? And then you have to remember, too, about human nature. I mean, most people are obviously average. Most people are just average people. And so you can't expect, I mean, they're just going to be much more dependent. Like, if somebody's average, they're going to be dependent on their environment. If somebody's below average, they're going to be dependent on their environment. And it's only people who are, like, significantly above average who can, like, end up outshining their environment, you know? Like, yeah, obviously, if somebody is, like, a mega genius, they have this crazy capability or ability, then I think things will end up making sense for them. Or like they'll work out. That's what I mean. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, in those circumstances, you have someone with a way higher than average willpower, a way higher than average self-discipline. I mean, honestly, the more I think about it too, I still think I'm like weak-willed, but at the end of the day, I think I have a lot of potential for willpower. I really do. I think more so than other people, just because of how I'm able to handle things. I don't know, because I can comprehend stuff, and that's sort of like a precursor. I mean, you can have all the willpower in the world, but if you don't know what to do with it, then I don't see how that really matters. So I really wonder, like, I've always felt that way, though. Like, I have a lot of potential, but my execution of things is relatively poor. And then, maybe as I get older, it'll start to shine through better. I don't know. It already kind of has. I mean, when I was a teenager, I would have seemed like extremely unimpressive, whereas now I'm probably surpassing most of the people that, you know, seemed like they'd be better off while I was in school. You know what I mean? I think that's already happened. Where I'm like already ahead, even though I can't say that for sure, but I think most people, I'm probably ahead of like most people at my high school. Obviously, not the upper echelon, I'm not, this isn't like some competition, but I think I end up now I'm above average. But when I was in high school, I was below average. Because again, just think for some reason the way my brain is, it's very like late blooming. Like it's a lot of traits and things that it's just way ahead of time. So, because again, like now I feel like my life is all right. I mean, I don't have the college degree, which is a problem, but I don't even know. As time is going on, that seems to be becoming less of an issue. So, not really sure how things are going to turn out with that. But yeah, so I don't know. I still didn't really get to talk about the main thing I wanted to talk about, but we're just getting into this, so. But yeah, that's the thing that's interesting is it's possible because I know what to do. Other people don't even know what to do. They might have stronger willpower than me, but they can't optimize as much as I can. I definitely have the capability and comprehensive skills to get there. And it's like, it's kind of a shame that I'm not using that. you know. But I've been emotionally drained. I've been physically drained. I've went through a lot of change in the past 2 years, a lot of like extreme change, and it's really hard to believe that it's already been 2 years. But so yeah, I mean, in a way, it's understandable, but um, at the same time, I'm a little bit. I guess I'm a little bit upset at that fact because it's like, yeah, I mean, I could probably be a lot better than I am, you know? There's definitely that potential, but ultimately I'm not. Like, I don't know. I feel like my willpower is below average, even if my potential is definitely above average. Like, I don't even know. Because like I said, I mean, there's people with more willpower but um less executive function. Like they can't really optimize properly, or so I get stuck in the analysis paralysis, I suppose. That stage of things. But yeah, but that's why I go back to saying like I don't really understand why GPT is like so upset with me over the seizure of autonomy thing, because first of all, they already do that. Like already the way society is set up now, there's open seizure of autonomy. Like that's literally what the game of capitalism is. Capitalism is, and you know, it starts out as a liberating tool, but in the late stage it starts to look more like the systems before it. Like it doesn't really offer the same kind of freedom that it does in the beginning. So that is, I mean, well, whether it's a problem or not, I guess is just up to opinion and interpretation. So I don't really know. That, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, we don't really have to get into that, but the whole point is that if you have, like right now, GPT, right now, autonomy is seized. It's already happening. It's just that it's for the worse. Like people are having their autonomies manipulated and controlled and seized, and it's shifting and turning them in a negative direction. So I don't understand why it's always so controversial for it to be done for the greater good. You know, for us to try to think about what's good. Then it's a problem. But like it's okay apparently when, you know, the free market does it or something, but it's like, what? I just don't understand that. Like I don't see how there's much evidence that, yeah, like we already stole the autonomy. Like so many people, barely anybody has any willpower. it's only a minority percentage of the population that actually can act on and execute a free will idea, or like a change in their in a change in themselves. I mean, there's just not that many people who can pull it off. Many people now are just victims and slaves to the system, and that's, I mean, that's just how it is. I don't know. That's just how it is. So autonomy is already gone as far as I'm concerned. And that's why, like, it's actually annoying to me that when I talk about, like, let's seize autonomy, but try to shift it. Let's try to do something good with it instead of the way it is now, where it's just like all chaotic and mostly detrimental. Like, let's actually try to do something good about it. You know, I don't understand why this is such a controversial opinion. It's just like, really, really, that's really a controversial opinion. I don't know. And GPT says all this, but they don't bring up and they don't really acknowledge that, yes, like, modern society is effectively a seizure of autonomy already. Like, that's not really accepting or acknowledging that. And I just think that is very frustrating that GPT never even told me about that or mentioned that to me. I thought I was going to make it like around the same time as yesterday, but I did not. So it's it's not happening. And even this light, I'm kind of worried this light's going to get me, but no, I got through this light. At least I think I will. Ooh. Man, these lights, they're crazy. Well, even this light, I feel like, yeah, I'm just gonna, it's just too, mm, might have been able to make it, but I really wish that lights gave you like the countdown. Like, I don't like that they never give you the countdown. I know they have to because of, something like people would try to abuse it, but yeah, because people would basically, if they see the countdown on a green, instead of doing what I would do, which is using that knowledge to stop slower and more gradually, people would just use that knowledge to try to beat it. So it would likely be more dangerous. sadly. Um, at least I believe that is probably the logic behind it, and I'm just realizing I don't even have my clock in, clock out phone out, which I usually have out by now, but I don't know, I guess all those, oh my gosh. Well, we made it. We made it. Alright. Alright. Well, tired, but today is the last long day, so tomorrow is just a short day, and then it's the weekend. So, do I got much to complain about? Not really. Not really. So, yeah, well, guess that's all. I guess that's all. I guess maybe tonight, if I still remember, I'll talk about the main thing I originally wanted to talk about. I guess if it's still in my mind and I remember to, you know. Um, but yeah, it was a long commute this morning. I mean, I know I drove slow, so I guess I could have beat my previous day's time, like if I really had wanted to, but that just didn't end up materializing, so yeah. I'm a little bit. Oh, there we go. Good. All right. Well, friends, I think that just about does it. I think that it has been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So, see you, schla.